This is gargling with bleach. It was like glancing up from the obituary column with horror and fascination and catching a sneak peek of a fabulous vocalist opera or Hitler facing Rasputin in a staring contest from behind a barred window. The landslide swept through an Alaskan town, and a toxic yellow cloud hovered over Sudbury as a Rhodes Scholar was caught surfing on the roof of a pickup truck, speeding on the highway, and baseball-sized hail fell from the sky. The man singing acquainted with the paved, blue-eyed streets of his guru's master stood obese in the slender silence of his bright, ivy-covered house. It was like receiving an ice cube suppository on a sweltering summer night in California. It was like glancing up from the obituary column. I remember quite clearly. It was on a foggy night, just like tonight. In fact, was it not, dear heart? It was like gargling with bleach and catching a sneak peek behind the mock, tragic farce. A reposing sphinx and a captured harlequin jumped off of the mosaic floor of a cold, dead garden. A man raised in a geometrical prison was forced, alone, into the Amazonian rainforest as a black sun set over the pink, etiolated sea. It was like looking up from surveying the utter devastation with self-inflicted horror and disinterested fascination. The doomed crew pleaded with the pilot of the plane to turn around before the crash. We watched the fireworks implode over the city from your 9th-story balcony that I am too afraid to stand on, sometimes due to my wariness of heights. A Toronto party-goer made his abrupt transition into the great hereafter after snorting what he believed to be a generous, delicious line of cake, but was, the coroner revealed today, the lethal drug, fentanyl. It was like seeing a seeress turn French bread into human flesh and synthetic blood into your favorite wine. It was like putting down a riveting, well-told story, so I've been told, or the passage of time into eternity, or eternity into time. It was like glancing up from the obituary column and groping a sneak peek of a vocalist, mind-expanding opera from behind a barred window, or Hitler facing Rasputin in a staring contest.
The Long Swim to China, a left-handed symphony for the soul of Tennessee Williams. Part 1, Negrito. Was I hatched too soon, and you born too late? I consulted the digital oracle. I consulted the plastic gypsy. And yet, the haunting question still remains. A smug bastard wearing a black army hat and an ugly, vomit-colored sweater is exhaling the scented smoke of his suggestively held vape. A Mexican drug lord escaped from prison today using an elaborate system of underground tunnels, and a self-taught violinist is playing his afflicted heart out to soothe some bored, HIV-infected chimps languishing in a bleak, secretive biomedical laboratory's ivory cage. And yet, the haunting, hotly debated question still remains. And me, I won't answer it. In fact, I won't even try. But still, they inquire. In the new order, does the old pattern really return on a higher level? Is Carol Contrary in your drugstore? Huh? Why do you smoke so much, Lily? Why do you go to the movies so much, Tom? Do you want me to use the Spanish accent, Jack? Does harm seldom befall the wary? What makes you so restless, Donald? They ask. How doth one stay the very platinum-framed portrait of health in a world where even the doctors may be conspiring to keep us sick? Who put my ice cream in the refrigerator, Stedmond? Are these grapes washed? I can't answer them. Lusty babysitters are throwing caution to my gondolas in the wind. A large wildfire raging across Canada has contributed to a smoky haze lingering above the western USA, causing a spectacular red sunset and a known fugitive hiding in the most obvious disguise is leading the RCMP on an intense, low-speed chase. Was I hatched too soon, and you born too late? I consulted the digital oracle. I consulted the plastic gypsy. And yet, that haunting $24 million earth-shattering question still remains.
Blow out your candles.
Tennessee, blow out your candles with a plastic medicine cap between your teeth, like a purple flower on a red table, and a sundial made of stone.
Blow out your candles.
With no cough to cover the sound.
Blow out your candles.
Tennessee, like a ferocious-eyed woman with one of her ankles getting bitten by an irate swan, or a Japanese mountain collapsing due to the fall of heavy rain. Blow out your candles with a thermometer in your mouth. Blow
out your candles.
Like a gladiator affrighted by the specter of a terrible review on opening night. Like old bedridden complainers and dazzling, implacable young shut-ins. Blow out your candles with a partly bandaged limb and a simple invention that changes everything. As tents are being blown off of their moorings, as a barman slips into his clothes for a summer hotel and impassively wipes our dirty table to raise to a new stage the edifice of modern life.
Blow out your candles.
Tennessee, like a carnival barker in the French Quarter getting higher than a flightless bird. Or the suicide rate in Japan on the newly legal hard stuff, like the Witch of Capri entering a sea full of Medusas, like two women galloping across a smoky, artificial music hall atop a mechanical horse, as if they were an intricate sand painting done by a Tibetan monk. Blow, blow.
Blow out your candles.
Unencumbered by the man-made catastrophe and the attrition of the nod of Papa Time, blow out your candles from the belly of a beached whale, from the mouth of a lion, a spacecraft, and snake.
Blow out your candles.
As Mother Earth has shaken many civilizations from her back, and the stage is slowly dimmed. Blow.
Blow out your candles.
As a strange inert figure of someone you once cruised at a bar drives out of the dense fog in an abdicated roadster with one of your crushed heroines to deliver their pale judgment by blowing out your candles, Tennessee, with a silent revolver.
Riverside, motherfucker.
There's something still wild in the country, something free. I'll be waiting outside in my car. The fastest thing on wheels in Two River County.
Aren't you going with her?
Beached Whales, Part 2. 1. Me.
Aboard that packed subway train at rush hour, he was the very portrait of dissociative calm. But on the inside, he cried.
A hang glider got struck by a streaking meteorite on the morning after the night before I met you. On the morning after the night before I met you, I was spiritually conjoined to a Chinese boy whose eyes were gouged out by his beloved aunt. I was altered forever just before I met you, baptized anew, altered forever by the intuitive hunch that I would find you. Doggy paddling in the scarred in every way by me sky of skulls, smuggling unwanted vegetation to those of us living in blazing sweatshops transfigured into a lone ziggurat of melting ice, yelling, come and take a lick of one of our cones. Come, let us march against the powers of heaven and set black streamers in the firmament to signify the slaughter of the gods. Come strum your acoustic weapons all over our electric country. This music makes our legs feel like a field of wheat. But a disfigured World War IV veteran and an underappreciated woman discover true love, beauty, and a magical transformation after moving into a small cabin on our sprawling estate. But the pixelated pictures on your laptop screen, the earthling outside reality, the man who fell to earth, counting stars, altered forever by a replenishing infection that hospitalized a glamorously destitute couple, snowshoeing across the prairies in the late summer with the blissful, socially unorthodox, hypersensitive wastrel with a fascinating personality on the morning after the night before I met you. On the morning after the night before I met you, Crazy Horse's warriors fought their last major battle at Wolf Mount. A bank robbery suspect was captured after he posted a picture of himself holding a Star Trek Klingon sword and a submachine gun on Instagram before pulling a violent The RCMP was probing serious new allegations of illegal lobbying by a former advisor to the Canadian Prime Minister. Roaming gangs of Chihuahuas were terrorizing the streets in Arizona. 20 people were stabbed at a high school and squeezed by the worst ever drought in the state's history. California was dying of thirst and growth. A timid spermatozoan was nervously awaiting ejaculate. A stupid chick more useless than parents who can't cook was arrested in Texas for dialing 911 repeatedly because she ran out of cigarettes. Wednesday's unofficial Pick 6 lottery numbers were 24, 12, 6, and a sea lion that befriended a rustic youth with Asperger's syndrome was happier than overprotective Russian, Italian, Arabic, Irish, Scottish, and Zionist fathers finding out that their favorite, most doted upon daughter is marrying some African Canadian or mulatto dude, interrogating Socrates beyond our solar system, probing the furthest reaches of interior space, when my Mustangs almost got turned into dog food. On the morning after the night, on the morning after the night before I met you. Part 2. Her. Aboard that packed subway train at rush hour, her face betrayed not one single emotion, but in her 4D printed head, she said,
And we left the city to find ourselves at midnight, stumbling through a golf course in the dark. Your phone screen illuminates the cosmos so we can see the trees, and stars surround us, shroud us like a blanket. And we lie in the sand dune, drunk, laughing. This is what it feels like to be in love platonically. The next day, I find sand in my hair and shoes, fragments of truth. Hazy memory cannot recollect. But the sand does not lie. I still find grains of you, wherever I go, in people, in places, in music, and maybe you find grains of me too, when you send me a message and we haven't spoken in half a fucking year, and you say, I heard this song and thought of you. And now I'm crying on the subway, you piece of shit. I still find grains of you.
Last shift at the Royal. Projecting myself into a soundscape more beautiful than your ideal lover's soul. During my last 12-hour shift at the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair, I stood, stroking the forehead and back of a tender black cow, the fair's grand champion, as it licked poignantly my palm and wrist in the roaring silence of the late Saturday night by its cage, vowing never again to gnaw, bite, chew, devour, congealed fear, vowing quixotically to be the unwavering, undefeatable champion of the veggie burger, the robust, charismatic missionary of beefless steak, until a passing, drunken farmer smirking cruelly to himself at the sight of us informed me that my new buddy would be available for purchase at my local butcher shop or market by the start of the week. Stressed men prefer curvy women. Study, revolt, struggle. Success? We shed our ineffable raiments of tormented flesh, and Queen Street West morphed into a ballet at rush hour, as badly aging pop stars declaring the actual divinity of the fair-limbed harpies, genius enough to dig me, were being haunted by the insatiable ghosts of groupies past during the desperate, retributive hour in which I magiced your sceptered beast. A few years ago we sprinted. I sped blindly into the belly of it, of whom you are still crawling out. I know the shivering narcissus of a yellow afternoon, wielding the parched dagger of mummified winter under the deflatable sun unrisen. I've best friended the brooding, jubilant animals' punctured longing, managing their feeble perceptions, ascending the white skies with rolling, merging black clouds like Enoch upon a fiery, barbed, stained glass steed. I'm sorry, my fellow tribesmen who have gifted me more than I ever thought I could need. I'm adventuring home empty-handed from the hunt. I learned the mysteries of the red gold under the untamed tutelage of the companion of nymphs. I know a burnt child afeard of the long-extinguished fire's flame. I've learned study, revolt, struggle, success. We shed our ineffable raiments of tormented flesh on the night of a blue moon, and nakedly we roam the star-domed light, vulnerable to everything. By an Emerald Fire, Part 1. From the sacred medicine dens of Andromeda and Czechoslovakia, from kiosk to kiosk, paycheck to paycheck, and station to station, to the top-hatted capitalist regions of Afghan and Pakistan, to the white waters of Atlantis, through soil, moisture, root, damage, and strong winds, through the grueling process of individuation and beyond, in the Monaic morning, Van Goghian gangsters of the starry night awoke to see a universe of ghost shadows in a cloud of smoke, being blown by the beautiful, death-killing beauties chanting the lost poems of every known and unknown poet to the 27th century's cavemen and the ravishing rave women who are communicating in Neanderthal symbols and grunts to their cave rave runs, playing and dancing by an emerald fire, openly grieving the day that their earthly lives will never expire inside the marshmallow mountains, iced with pink snow. Part 2. Polluters of the planet and dark voyeurs of the soul, living in opulently furnished underground bunkers like worms, gophers, Hitler, and moles, feeling all groovy laughing, cackling at our life's movie with their info-barraged brains, coddled like newborn despots in the cold blanket of enlightenment. Thank you. The search warrant. Just as they were about to kick in our gilded bronze door, a figment of your imagination caressed my arm, and a shaft of faint white, an onion skinning light, drifted across our dark shadow, while heavy, computer-generated winds swept across Germany. A mute banshee and the poison eagle screamed, and fires were burning in that ocean of glass. In the beehives and anthills of dehumanizing cement, a young male opera singer dressed in all black, paint-splattered clothes was busking on the corner. One universal spirit manifested itself through all things, and unborn children making hookers, murderers, sailors, truckers, and politicians blush were lost in a mutual dream. I was on your uncarpeted floor, about to open up a jeweled, pearl-encrusted snuff box full of our favorite anesthetic. You were snuggled up beside me, about to put on David Bowie's Versawa. A quadruple rainbow stretched across the carnivorous sky. Our black sheep was about to get wrapped in the golden fleece. And a smooth-coated otter, and India's only ape, took their first tentative steps into the restorative brown water, just as they were about to kick in our gilded bronze door.
Police department, third floor! Police department, third floor! Ah, hey, look! Food fire! Go! Police department, third floor! Get down! With you! Need one!
With you? Hey, just relax, okay?
One on the couch there. Up, hun. Get up. On top of your head. Put your hands on top of your head.
Get a female right here.
I got it.
Sky Masterson, Part 1. Hideous basements infected by light, kittens terrified of carpet, puking up dry water in a diamond hell, serpents of the universe whose unhatched eggs are planets, eagle-headed goddesses slowly pecking your way out of my cosmic egg. The emaciated cows of India are skinny dipping in. The emaciated cows of India, sniffing something that probed my brain, are skinny dipping into our sparsely wooded area to the grating sound of spare change, spare change, spare change. Our rich bastards are heaving themselves poorly out of the stained glass windows of the skyscrapers and overpriced condos that hover over us Godzilla-ly, like Mothra. A 13th century woodcut of a dazzling asteroid sand paints a white streak
across the board straight aristocratic back of a regal black sun as a newly minted meteor.
shaves the soft stubble off of the planet Earth's face. Our full chaotic stomachs are growling in unison inside the treehouse of the tea house of the August moon.
Breaking news.
Rauschenberg has erased de Kooning. People are standing in front of churches, mosques, synagogues, ashrams, and temples, burning the Torah, the Talmud, the Quran, the Book of Mormon, Dianetics, and every kind of sutra, treatise, and Bible to ignite a combustible crowd. Surprise storms have left 222 dead, knocked out power to millions of homes on the east coast of the United States. Warplanes are thundering over Libya, Afghanistan, Syria, and Iraq. Still, an extreme heat wave has claimed 10 lives in Quebec today. Thousands of Israelis are taking to the streets to protest the rising cost of living. Lindsay Lohan is back in rehab today. The way you sleep can reduce wrinkles. A pearl-faced dolphin who may or may not sleep talk and beach whale song is jumping aboard an aerial boat today, injuring a woman in South Florida. Tomorrow, a number of erotic suspects have been euthanized upon the Gaza Strip of the meth lab. Of our collective imagination, tsunamis of unsettling sensations. Bloated, waterlogged bodies, flash floods, rolling blackouts, deserted pets, separated families, evacuated cities full of centaurs being enveloped in rising walls of worse fears generously erected. 3 alpha males are sipping king cans of liquid genitals in Trinity Bellwoods Park as we speak. Oh, battered runaways, lo, elegant technological savages becoming loose and theory. Your abusive, alcoholic father is entering the realm of the mothers. Abraxas equals 365. Seatbelts save lives. According to the Franklin Parish Sheriff's Office, Sharmika Moffett was wearing a Donald Trump t-shirt when the assailants allegedly doused her with racial slurs and gasoline and scrawled the letters KKK upon the hood of her beat-up truck. A bullied BC teen suicide has sparked political action in Ottawa. And a rescue dog shot in the head 50 times by a pellet gun in Nova Scotia has found a loving new home. Must the resplendent contents of my petrified bowls beware your raging spoon? And the Ides of March? Who will be our trusted companions in our final moments within this physical plane? I'm changing the channel. I'm turning off the news now. I'm loitering on the marble streets of oblivion, awaiting the dawn. Part 2. For I say unto liberating oppressors, there are 2 ways to conquer and enslave my nation. One is by the sword, and the other is by debt. For I say unto you, it would be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. The rose has long been the flower of love. Its beauty and its thorns remind us of the mixed blessing we receive when we open ourselves to love. James Dean offered American audiences a new image of the rebel as poetic anti-hero, as the misunderstood but vulnerable, herald of a new generation, the boy in anguish as a disturbed animal, so in need of love that nothing else has any reality. In one hand, I offer you something like Marlon Brando saying, "Fuck you." And I am Montgomery Clifton, this other one saying,
Please help me.
My ultra-violent, Cesare Borgia-like pen is recklessly wielding other people's quotes, but Alice Bailey criticized national groups based on what she believed were their violations of the spirit of unity and brotherhood. She believed that an individual's primary allegiance is to humanity and not to any subgroup within it. I'll save that shit for another day. A million superficial differences divide us. There is no such thing as being civilized, and nothing is solid. We emerge out of the bright darkness into the view of Samyaza, singing the songs that were once composed in honor of pagan gods. Limp demand, divine abomination standing strong with weak erection, shouting, love has to be reinvented, like Rimbaud recommended. Life must be changed. A whole generation of kids cursed by narrowed consciousness are being exposed to things their dipsomaniacal parents.
Schools feed inside children of Moab, the government lie, and the poor will never know. Circles and sheets of sound, musical noise, girls gone wild, elderly women going mad. War pigs getting awarded our Nobel Peace Prize. Barristers head scratchingly named Time Magazine's Person of the Year.
1,000-year-old prophecies of mass destruction or global awakening, alien or deity intervention, or nothing. The ending of an aeon and the beginning of another. Even the priestess Pythia, the oracle of Apollo at Delphi, and my old friend Susan Monroe don't know what's gonna happen. What a strange and exciting time to be stuck in existence. Aesop. We've fought the wrong people. And now the fluorescent red sculpture of an emotionally volatile dog is pouncing out of the sand of an inner city playground. And genetically modified mosquitoes are being released into the wild. We fought the wrong people. And binges can harm young brains. We fought the wrong people. And now the dominatrix of my hysterical thoughts rules our world with an iron hand inside a mink glove and a Russian scientist reweaving us back into the fabric of a building destroyed by a rocket in the eastern Ukraine. Spots a mountain-sized meteorite heading our way. We fought the wrong fucking people, I say. And now we've collectively forgot how to keep the parasitic gluttons away from our blossom. A drunken department store Santa Claus staggering down the lonely street is bringing us all our heart's desire. And now a terrifying monster made out of uncooked processed meat near that mirrored Venetian lake and the great proscenium chases me in your dream. Every 15 minutes of the day.
Now, leave me. You know, man, get the fuck out.
This is CBLT TV in Toronto, Channel 5, Cable 6, an owned and operated station of the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, with a picture signal strength of 77,500 watts and a sound signal of 7,500 watts. We would like to hear from you about our programming. Please write to the Program Director, CBLT, 500 Church Street, Toronto, M4Y2C6. This concludes our programming for today. Good night.